All right, so number 30. I really was gonna do Spider-Man: Far From Home, but I think Iron Man 3 is a tiny bit worse. It's definitely the worst Iron Man out of the three, which I think most people agree about. It kind of just felt forced, but it definitely had some good moments. Really did like seeing Tony at his lowest, which was really cool. I like the kid seeing him helping him out and them bonding. That was just really cool. And then I really like the ending. All the suits come in together. Well, parts of the ending, because I'm pretty sure there's some superpower stupid stuff going on towards the end. But I like how he like destroyed all his suits to save them. And yeah, and it really showed I think it really showed his commitment to Pepper, and yeah, I think that was really cool. And that's probably one of the best parts. That and the kid. Other than that, everything else was just all right. Kind of disappointing compared to how good the first two Iron Man movies are. 29, Spider-Man: Far From Home. I think the sole reason I only have this above Iron Man 3 is the Mysterio fight. Just that alone, I just had to put it above Iron Man 3. It's such a good fight. Him evolving his Peter tingles, and it was just a great fight. I just love it in general. It just kind of sucks that, they took Spider-Man out of New York. Like, why would you do that? So, yeah. I mean, but it's still a fun movie. Like I said with these others, it's just a solid superhero movie. It's fun, enjoyable. But it is Spider-Man. This is my goal. I feel like we could have got some more from this movie, especially compared to No Way Home and Homecoming. But yeah, it was just pretty fun. It's just, yeah, I would say it's like a transition movie. Just him trying to develop his powers more. So yeah, pretty cool movie. Right, so at spot number 28, I think I have to go Eyes of Wakanda, which I don't even know if any of you guys even watched that show because of the very poor marketing. But I really liked the show. I think it was actually a pretty good show. Like, I feel like it definitely deserved better marketing because it definitely had some good moments. My only really complaint is just I wish that they focus more on these stories in depth, like all these characters, because each episode was a different character, so that kind of sucked. Which I feel like they tried to go like the what if perspective of it, but I don't know, I'd rather just had a more built out story with like each one of these characters, or just one of the characters in general, because we just didn't really get enough time to really bond with these characters, I feel like. But I think it was cool seeing them go into different time periods and how like Wakanda played a role in each time period. I did feel like the Iron Fist episode, that was probably my favorite one. But yeah, overall, pretty solid show. And yes, I like it more than Marvel Zombies. I guess you could just cry about it. Marvel Zombies just isn't that good. Alright, number 27, we have Ironheart, which really did start off strong for me. Like, those first two episodes they dropped, I was like, this might genuinely be the best MCU show. But, of course, it had to fall off, so it is pretty sad. And I know it got lots of hate, which was even about the show, just straight up racism, which is kind of sad. But, well, not kind of sad, it's definitely sad. But overall, I really did like the show. I don't get why people were hating it when they didn't even watch the show, but it was pretty solid. I like Riri's character. I do like the practical suits. Like, we haven't got that in a while. We've just been getting like nanotech, so it was cool to go back to the roots of these like Iron Man suits. And yeah, I think it was a pretty solid show. I feel like I didn't really like the ending. I've seen some people do, but I guess it's just hit or miss depending on what you think. But overall, it was a pretty solid show. Number 26, we have a more recent movie, Captain America: Brave New World. Or should I say Incredible Hulk: Brave New World, because this was not a Captain America movie. Like, I thought we were going to see Sam Wilson as Captain America. I thought that was the whole point of the movie. But no, it's actually a sequel to Incredible Hulk, which is just really depressing because, as you can see, it's just all the way down here. So I was definitely not a fan of that. Plus, having your audience like try to remember something from almost a decade, or actually probably a little bit over a decade of information, that's just not a good sign. Red Hulk was cool, I guess. The fight was cool, even though I don't really know how Sam won that fight. But I don't know. I think it was cool to see like the parts of the movie that we did see with Sam. I think it was cool to see how different he fought compared to Steve, the different actions he had to take since he didn't have the serum. And like I know Vibranium definitely has a big part to play in that, but I think that was pretty cool. And I do like the whole mystery part of it, especially since I barely remember the Incredible Hulk when I was watching it, so I definitely had no clue what was going on. So I definitely do like that mystery spy feel, kind of like Winter Soldier, I feel like, but definitely not as good. So definitely probably shouldn't compare those two, but yeah. All right, now going into Moon Knight at spot number 25. This is a bit of a weird one because I liked Moon Knight on my first watch, but on my second watch, I just liked it even less. And I guess that's just mainly because of the whole plot twist or mystery or whatever you want to call it. Because once you really know what's going on, it's kind of just like, okay, all this build-up is kind of for nothing. But when I was first watching it, just not knowing what the heck was happening, I haven't read a single Moon Knight comic, I knew nothing about his character, I was just really into it. I was watching those episodes weekly, and I was just excited to see what would happen next. But yeah, it's definitely gonna lose points for not being rewatchable. I feel like everything has to be somewhat rewatchable, so that's kind of sad. I didn't like the big CGI fight at the end. Definitely not a fan of that. But honestly, I think my favorite part of the show was just seeing Mark Steve's dynamic and just like the backstory, like how Steve was made, or Steven, sorry, how he was made. So I think that was pretty cool. And yeah, it was a fun show. At spot 24, I think I gotta go Iron Man 2, which I'm a pretty big Iron Man fan. I thought it was a pretty solid movie, kind of like the other ones, just a solid superhero movie. Had some cool scenes. I like seeing Tony and Rhodey's dynamic, but you know, it's just was pretty lacking compared to the first one. So that was really it. I can't really do much about it. I do like the final fight scene with Tony and Rhodey. I think that was cool, but yeah, villain could have been better. It's just like everything was, compared to the first one, everything was just slightly worse, which yeah, definitely lost some points in that department. Number 23, Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. Honestly, it's just a solid, good superhero movie. There's not much to say about it. I do think it has some of the best, not even some, probably the best fights we've seen in the MCU, which is just amazing. I just love the fights in this movie. I love the concepts of the Ten Rings. I haven't read any comics referring to this, but I don't know if it's the same as the comics or if the MCU did something different, but I just like the concept of what they did. CGI was great, and honestly, it's just a good movie. Solid movie. And I definitely gave it some extra points because of the amazing fight scenes. But yeah, pretty solid superhero movie. Alright, talking about solid superhero movies. Spot number 22, Fantastic Four, First Steps. So, I kind of know this is going to be controversial, but I didn't really like Fantastic Four. I really thought it was going to be the best movie this year, which I think Superman is better, but that's for a later video of my rankings for the year. But yeah, it was just really disappointing. I will give it its props though. It looked amazing. The scenes, it's just probably the best, not even probably, definitely the best looking MCU movie we ever got. In the CGI, just everything just looks so good. So I will give it that. I did really like the characters, seeing their dynamics and stuff, but I just overall found the movie boring. It was just because, like I said earlier, I'm more of a plot guy and see the characters interacting more. than like an actual plot. I mean, I know like Galactus was trying to steal Franklin. That was kind of like the plot, but like I don't know. I feel like they could have done more. I would have wanted more action than kind of just a family movie. I feel like you could definitely strike a balance of both. Like I don't know, them fighting Mole Man or whatever, and like talking about stuff rather than them doing the dishes or something like that. If that makes sense, but yeah, it's a solid movie. I think it definitely could be better. And in my opinion, I think it's the slowest MCU movie I've ever seen. Or maybe slightly above Quantumania. But that's more unbearable to watch than slow. But yeah, a little bit disappointed. And I definitely wish there was more build up to Doomsday. So that kind of really hurt the review in my opinion. But I try to rate things on the movie entirely than just like the entire. I try to rate things based on the movie itself than the entire MCU. At 21 we got Loki. Honestly, pretty solid show. I liked it. I don't really have too much complaints. From my memory, I think I didn't like season 2 more than season 1. I remember there being lots of plot holes. I didn't really like the whole thing going on with the TVA, which I guess there's part of that in season 2 too, but I don't know. I think it was pretty cool. The ending really definitely carries a lot for me. Just seeing Loki's character development, it's just amazing. Mobius was amazing in Loki. I really did like his dynamic with Loki. Let Time Pass. Some of the better writing I've seen in the MCU just really surprised me. And yeah, want to see how this plays a big role in the MCU, but I think it's a pretty solid show, and I would definitely recommend it to most people. I would definitely recommend it to you guys. So at spot number 20, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which is the worst Guardians of the Galaxy movie, in my opinion. I think it was fun, it was cool, James Gunn did cook. I've seen people like really hate this movie for no reason, to be honest. They say it's like one of the worst MCU movies ever, which 20 is pretty far from the bottom, so I wouldn't say it's one of the worst ones. I think it's a solid movie. James Gunn really did do a great job with this movie. Like, just, I think the main thing I really liked was just the dynamic of them. The plot was definitely not as good as the first or third one, but just seeing the squad together, it's just really cool. I like seeing some of Peter's backstory. I didn't really like Ego as a villain. I thought he was kind of lame, but I don't know. It was fun and enjoyable, so that gives it lots of points. I think this is a movie I should get introduced to Yondu too, and I definitely did like his fighting scenes. 19. I think I will have to do Thor Ragnarok. Like I said, not a Thor fan, so don't be surprised. But I will say they did better with this movie. I know there's lots of controversy between the comedy in this movie. From what I remember, I think it was alright. I wasn't laughing at every single joke like it was a James Gunn movie, but I think it was decent comedy. Like the Hulk scene at the Coliseum or whatever it was. I think that was pretty funny. But overall, it was a decent movie. A bit more funny, but like funny and serious. There's definitely a more funny standard when you have like Thor: Love and Thunder, where you give them like super powers to kids and they defeat the main villain that way. So definitely not to that extent. Seeing Thor lose his hammer, yeah, that was cool. Just some really good character development for Thor. I was like, oh wow, we actually get to see Thor as an actual like character and not acting like a god all the time. So I thought that was really cool. Other than that, pretty solid movie. And yeah, the villain Hela, she was pretty cool. The destruction of Asgard to lead up to Infinity War, that was amazing, I will admit. Really did like that. 18, Captain America the First Avenger, one of the first MCU movies. I gotta give it props. I definitely didn't read any Captain America comics, but this definitely did make me like this movie. I know it's a bit slow, especially at the beginning with like the war stuff before we get to see like Red Skull and stuff. But I think it's a pretty solid movie, especially for the time when it came out. And I definitely found it enjoyable seeing Steve's character. The ending was great. I really did like the ending. That's probably one of my favorite parts. But yeah, I think it was a solid movie. I think it's a bit overhated, but yeah, probably not the most rewatchable MCU movie. 17, we got Avengers Age of Ultron, which definitely not good as the first one, and definitely not as good as Infinity War or Endgame. But honestly, pretty solid movie. I definitely think Ultron carries the movie, just him dropping quotes the entire movie, just being such a intimidating villain, just really good to see. And then we really get to see, like, this is the build to Civil War, which is, well, I'll say Civil War for later, but it's good to see the build up to Civil War, like Avengers like actually like making mistakes. Like this whole movie is a mistake from Tony and Bruce and them. So just to see like that they can still make mistakes, and just seeing them get together, just really cool. It's just like the first time we have like an Avengers movie that's not such a big threat, if that makes sense, since most of them were kind of like road ending threats. I guess Ultron was a little bit, but definitely on the scales like Thanos or like the Loki invasion of New York. So yeah, I think it was a pretty solid movie and a fun movie. So this might be a little controversial, but I had Black Panther Wakanda Forever. First off, rest in peace Chadwick Boseman. This movie definitely gets some hate, but I think they did the best they could with what they had. The opening scene is probably one of my favorite opening scenes of the MCU. Just seeing Shuri trying to save her brother, her crying, it's just amazing writing. It was just so good. Just seeing Shuri's character development in this movie was amazing. Plot was great. Like everything was like above average. I don't see where people could hate this. I mean, I guess Namor could have been a little bit more cool. He was kind of just there, but I like the ending. The Queen of Wakanda, her speech with this at court or the Senate or whatever it was, that was amazing. I really did like that. Amazing acting right there. And honestly, I just really liked the movie. I love Shuri's suit. I love the fights. Everything was really good. Just seeing her step into the role of Black Panther, I really like that. And I think it deserves more recognition, especially since, you know, they had to change a lot of stuff from their original plans. Alright, we got the last 3.5-star movie, and we have Spider-Man Homecoming. I know that's probably also controversial because I put that above a lot of movies and shows, but I mean, can you blame me? It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, so I have to give it credit where it's due. And yeah, I mean, like, what's not to like about the movie? It's just a solid superhero movie. The best Spider-Man representation. I did like seeing like Peter deal with like high school and like balancing that with his superhero life, just trying to have the best of both worlds, I guess. And I don't know, I think it was pretty funny, and I just love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. His acting was great. I love seeing Tony too, him like lecturing Peter, like a father-son relationship. It's only just a solid movie. Then you have like the iconic panel of him lifting up the rubble. Like, I just don't understand how you can hate on this movie. It's just such a good movie. I mean, I say that it's number 15, but that's pretty good compared to the rest of the MCU slop we had. But yeah, I think it's a good movie. I definitely love the Vulture actor. He did a great job. He was very intimidating. Like, I would not think of Vulture as a scary villain, but he was definitely moving in that movie. So I think it's a solid movie and definitely underrated.